Okay, let's check the AUT leaks and stands. What is that? Okay, so we already know that AUT is gonna drop out any day or any fucking year whenever they decide to actually release it. But I'm gonna be talking about how this whole hype and the so-called and dreaded YBA of JoJo games. Now, I don't really see the appeal of AUT because to me it was always just a garbage game in my opinion. Combat was pretty bad. Fighting was meh. Stands were hella OP. Events were okay, and stands were just yeah, they were something, weren't they? Now I'm not gonna be too mean and being, oh well, you're a YBA fanboy. You like YBA. You like playing games that take way too much grinding and OP stands. I'm gonna just say one thing. For one, YBA, yes, it is one of the games where you do have to try and you do need skill to play. You can't just waltz around with your Star Platinum, OVA, Gifted, Over Hell, whatever the fuck the devs proceed to make any stands. And that is a problem with games like AUT, Stand Upright, and should I even say the dead game that shouldn't even be alive anymore? So I'm just gonna go in and look at why I think AUT is just going to be a massive flop. And even if it does gain a huge player base, I'm pretty sure Uzu, the greedy little munchkin, who is 17 by the way, so fuck him. He doesn't get an excuse of him being a so-called kid. He's like 1 year off of an adult man. You can't like keep babying him at that point. He's 17 years old and out of high school too. However, with that being said, I'm pretty sure if this were to happen, Uzu, yes, he would definitely try his heart out and make YBA as popular as ever by actually doing something and not going on break every 6 months claiming it was way too hard. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's not going to be the so-called YBA killer, or how pathetically Stan Rai was hyped so much it died on its own and is probably never going to come out, considering it's still just as bad and I've seen the gameplay of it. Not as fun. So let's really get down to the heart of AUT. Now, I'm gonna cut the bullshit, and I'm already guessing that mostly all of the stands that they advertise and try to rework in order to make it fun and appealing for people to use and fight with, quote unquote, fun and appealing for people to use in game. I could already see so many people not using base form like Sticky Fingers, Aerosmith, Hierophant Green, Whitesnake, or Seamoon, because Seamoon's probably not going to be good in that game as good as it is in YBA. Holy shit, you gotta nerf that thing, Uzu. But in terms of stands, no one's good. Do they know this? No one uses base form stands because of how bad they are.
I like it, cut G.
No matter how much you try to put moves that look cool and dazzling, there's literally no point, and it's not going to work out for your game. There's not even evolutions for half of the stands you own. There's probably not going to be evolutions of Sticky Fingers, no evolutions of King Crimson, because you've already proven that you can't have King Crimson Requiem because of how stupidly OP you made it. I didn't get the chance to use it, but my brother did, and it was way out of whack. It was way too unbroken. You could literally do infinite epic. You could do infinite anything because it's accurate. Now, as far as with the other stands, no one's gonna probably, and you already know it's true, no one's gonna use base form stands, AUT developers. It's ridiculous. It's a fallacy. It's just literally being arrogant and closed-minded, as if you think that anyone's gonna use Sticky Fingers when I'm fighting a Tusk Act 4. Or you think I'm gonna use Aerosmith fighting some Star Platinum OVA over Heaven. Don't act like that's not gonna be added in. They don't care. All these games copy each other one by one. I do know you can't say that, well, YBA copied over Heavens and Heaven concept. Okay, for one, Made in Heaven can be balanced to a point where it's not OP. Made in Heaven is not even that good to begin with, and he's just funny to troll around. But in games like these, Made in Heaven is just straight up useless, or you have to get made in Walmart, or it's just a meme stand at that point. or you just get made in hell or made in whatever ways that they can imagine with any fucking item in the game. That is super confusing to use, and you have to watch a YouTube video to know what the hell you're even doing. There's no guidebook in the game either to tell you this unlocks this stand, that unlocks that stand, this upgrades that stand. So yeah, no one's gonna use stands. I could already see people saying, well, what about specs? If they do manage to add specs, there's no point either way, because you're gonna get killed by some sand XR, and that's the problem with this game. They keep on bringing back the same characters as if it's impressive and unique and original. You're probably gonna end up using the same moves, and if you don't, it's still not a fun, cool thing, because you're like, ugh, XR X, Sans X, that one guy, Lafis, I forgot his name, but that guy, like, no one's gonna use him. He wasn't even a popular character. He was popular for a good month, and then died out and was like, ew, you have that guy, you have Sans, you have Chara. No one will trade with you with that, because they want the next hot thing. They want Wonder View, and I already heard how they're going to replace Wonder View with D4C Love Train, which is fair, because Wonder View was pretty goddamn annoying as is, because the Calamity thing, I mean, the Calamity barely worked because they don't specify what stands can and can't go through Calamity. I know that Tusk can go through Calamity, but you could hit people in Calamity with TS too. Even you can do that for Base the World, which is kind of bullshit, but it's not even hard getting him. So yeah, I give it a pass. I think it would be deserved to just completely slam Calamity. But when you release it for D4C Love Train, a character that was originally out when AUT was still up and running was ungodly broken and would kill you in one hit. And it was not only so buggy when you pulled it out, it was just laggy, and you would be accused of fucking hacking. I don't know how that this game was so bad at programming D4C that they pathetically made it unobtainable. And that's what they're gonna do. I have an instinct that since I don't think they're gonna do this now, because they're probably gonna make D4C Love Train super underpowered and super unreliable when he comes out. Because for one, no one's gonna use the regular D4C. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna get another corpse part, or hell, they just might even copy your YBA and make it so you have to use the heart. I don't doubt that they won't do that either. I don't doubt that. Because, or maybe if they play this smart and don't make it so that D4C don't make it so that they wasted their whole entire time on the first act of D4C. I'm gonna call it an act, I don't give a fuck. But the first act of D4C, they're gonna make it so that Love Train is built in with D4C, so that you can use Love Train as like a secondary ability. It's sort of like how All-Star Battles is. It's already built in. You don't need to have it evolutionized, or Funny Valentine or the Patriot is what it's called. Now, for other stands, I'm gonna guess that since the World Over Heaven is out, you're gonna be seeing a lot more evolutions. And same thing as it is, they're not gonna add evolutions for common stands. Maybe Crazy Diamond Requiem. I would love to see that, because we did not get to see that in YBA, which was kind of a bummer, and it was always teased. But then again, that wasn't realistic. King Crimson Wreck. I mean, then the argument was, oh, what about King Crimson Wreck? That's not really accurate. Kind of is, because it would have happened. Crazy Diamond Requiem, there was no chances of that happening, because there was no sign of the arrow or Giorno nearby to see Josuke. He was a cameo in the manga and in the anime, but nonetheless, he was never present in Italy. But yeah, this game is really terrible when it comes to fighting, which is what I will be talking about next.